Hello again and welcome to week 3. This week our topic is the kind of activities we use to evaluate, grade, and guide our students. And first, everyone's favorites, tests. Tests, especially in their traditional multiple choice format, are a mainstay of higher education. Standardized tests such as the SAT, GRE, or TOEFL tests have been subjected to rigorous validation and reliability measures. We hardly ever have these available for our online classes. Norm reference tests are the usual, the norm, and are sometimes referred to as creating a grade curve. Criterion reference tests, where the value of a score is compared to a set criterion for an A, for a B, and so on, are what we desire to make. The so-called Monday morning quiz simply refers to brief, frequent mini-tests on topics such as readings, for example. Self-tests are especially useful in the online classroom since they take little effort to make and run, and students can access them whenever the professor wants. They're not graded. Likewise, in the LMS Blackboard, you'll find surveys under the Assignments and Tests category. We will consider all of these as well as how to create and evaluate useful assignments in an online classroom this week. The biggest issue in online tests is, plain and simple, cheating. Of course, students cheat in on-ground tests as well, but it's just so much easier online. Imagine having Google sitting next to you in a classroom. Unless UVI wants to invest time and money with secure testing providers, such as the examples on the screen, ProctorU and Criterion are two of the best known ones, I would recommend that you keep tests to a minimum. One obvious issue is identity management, which means who really is taking the test and how do you know? If you do decide that tests are needed for your course, and you pretty much have to in large undergraduate gateway courses, at least minimize the opportunity to cheat by randomizing the order of test items, they can't call each other and find out, and set a fixed time for the test, possibly also a start and end time, such as it opens on Sunday at 6 o'clock and closes on Sunday at 11 o'clock, and you have 90 minutes to take the test. The best preventative, however, is probably the good old-fashioned honor code. Explain to students how you expect them to take tests and have them sign it. Most people really do want to be honest. Self-tests, non-graded, are excellent for students to motivate themselves and to keep a check on their progress. Some creation software such as Camtasia, Articulate, Captivate, etc. have self-check macros built in. But small non-graded quizzes in Blackboard are just as efficient. I frequently use self-tests as practice tests before an exam. It helps students manage their anxiety and shows them which particular areas they might need to study more before the real test. I have 4 types of outcome objectives in the syllabus for this course, starting with the words describe, define, show, and create. You can take a look at it. You probably have very similar words in your syllabi. Now, both describing and defining can be handled in the test using item types such as selecting the best one or short answer or matching. Showing and creating are more likely to involve assignments, such as uploading a file or doing a web search. There are many other types of assignments that lend themselves nicely to an online class besides writing a paper. For example, how does Wikipedia describe the causes of the Civil War as compared to your textbook? There are plenty of free software and apps for movie making. Even a total amateur like me can do it. Or use a smartphone. Interviews are also good because most laptops have a built-in microphone. It's also a lot less threatening than having a huge professional mic shoved in your face. Instead of writing a paper, the students could be asked to just create the bibliography. If they don't know where to start, the site JSTOR, J-S-T-O-R, is free and open, and so is Google Scholar. Presenting a group project to the rest of the class in real time through Collaborate is also an excellent way to get feedback on a project. Scoring rubrics do take time to create, but they are highly reusable. On this screen is a very basic 3x3 rubric, for example, for an oral presentation. You can make notes about the presentation in the open cells and hand it along with a score to the student. In this week's folder are several sample rubrics from different universities, as well as the rubric I will use to evaluate the courses you create. I hope we'll have some good discussions about that one in the forums for this week. I'm very open to modifying it. Last, let's look at the pros and cons of assigning group work in an online class. The issues are quite similar to those of on-ground classes, with the added difficulty that students may live islands apart and hence have to do their collaboration utilizing technologies like Skype, email, and messaging. In the folder for this week, I've posted a few good strategies for making group tasks work online, as well as a rubric for peer evaluation, if you want to do this, where the participants of the group evaluate their colleagues. I look forward to reading your comments in this week's discussions.